None of these videos matter. I wish that you would watch this one and then never watch another video about this again. Because the more we talk about the ego, the less it does any good. It's meaningless and maybe important at the same time. I know it's kind of weird, but it's about the ego. So I started the YouTube channel with the hopes of helping people with doing self-help practices and, all the things that are generally helpful to the ego. But in the process, the last couple of years, my ego's been dissolving, and I didn't have words for it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what was happening. I lost my faith, my religion, my family. I'm getting divorced. I'm losing pretty much everything. My identity, my care to do anything, even my care to freak out in the middle of my life falling apart. It's not that I don't care, but I kind of don't. It's really weird. It's a weird process, and I've been watching a lot of teachings on non-duality, and sometimes the things that they say kind of resonate. So I feel like, okay, maybe I'm on sort of that same wavelength or process of just like my ego is dying. It's not going down without a fight, and I have moments of just existential crisis or just slipping into just meaninglessness. My mind goes crazy. And then every time I get up from that and I move forward a little lighter, a little better, a little happier, a little more peaceful, and it makes no sense. Because all that's happening is a stripping away of everything that I once thought had meaning, starting to realize it doesn't. There is no meaning in anything that I thought had meaning. Literally nothing. Everything that I think about religion, about marriage, about God, about myself, it's vapor. It's nothing. They're just thoughts. Just an example. So I was driving home the other day from a hike, and I listened to this 1.5-hour talk on, it was an interview between two people talking about deconstructing or slowly losing their faith in Christianity and what that process was like. And it was really interesting. And then directly after that, the video underneath was two Christians talking about this deconstruction movement and how so many people are deconstructing. And I thought, well, this is interesting. This is going to be the completely opposite perspective. So I clicked on it and I listened to that whole interview, expecting to be triggered. And I wasn't. I listened to two completely opposing sides of the same issue. And I just didn't have an opinion either way. I see people, I see humans, I see arguments, I see points being made. I just witnessed it. There was no meaning in any of it. People are just sharing their experience. It's just, the ego will make you think that you have to choose a side. But you don't. Because there isn't even a side to choose. The sides are just made up. It's so crazy when you start to see that literally everything you have been taught or told, everything people say, everything people believe, it's just made up. None of it's real. It's made up. I was sitting beneath a waterfall yesterday, and I sat there and tears started coming from my eyes, and I wasn't even sure why. It was just so beautiful. I started crying. But I was looking at it and feeling so connected to this waterfall. And I was watching, how you can watch the water from the top and you can watch it go all the way down and just kind of trace it with your eyes. And I was thinking, this body of water is one. And then as it goes over the edge, it splits into a million billion pieces and essentially disappears into mist. And somehow, after completely dissolving into nothing, you look down at the bottom and there's a body of water. It somehow came back together. And if that's not a great picture of what it's like to lose your ego, I don't know what is. It seems like you disappear, but you're still there. But the panic and the worry that happens as you're going over the edge, thinking you're disappearing into the mist, and then you reappear at the bottom. It's real. It's scary. But that can happen over and over and over and over, all the way down the river into the ocean. And we can either freak out every single time, or we can just look at it like, this is how it is. This is just how it is. So many people have so many different experiences, believe so many different things, and it just doesn't matter. Now, I don't know where this leads or where I'm even going with this, but all my previous videos I just look at them and think, who cares? Who cares if people are into self-help? Who cares if people are deconstructing? Who am I to help anyone? I'm no one. And after probably 20 years of self-help addiction, I'm realizing all I was doing was trying to improve the ego. When I say ego, I mean like your collection of thoughts and ideas and experiences that really form the perception of who you are. So not every thought, but just the collection of thoughts as a whole that make up your idea of yourself and who you are and your place in the world. Anyway, my 20 years of self-help was actually just 20 years of ego construction and shifting and moving and trying to better my perception of myself. And you can do it with exercise, eating clean, all that stuff. You can do it. But at the end of the day, you really got to think about it. Like, we're going to die. So what's the point? What are we doing? Like, what does it matter if I'm a shitty person until I die, or if I improve and then I die? They both end the same. It's like the ego never logically thinks of the end. It never brings itself to the logical conclusion that it's going to end. And it's terrified of the end. And in truth, there is no end. Death is just another idea. I don't even know how to explain this. Because it's just unexplainable. It's like what it says in the Tao Te Ching. The one who knows is silent. The one who doesn't know speaks. I must know and not know at the same time. I'm not even sure what I'm trying to say.